Scattered across our planet, there are these places that they just don't make sense. Places that feel both ancient and totally alien all at once. Today, we're heading to one of them. So, picture this. We're going deep into the Irkutsk region of southeastern Siberia. This is the taiga. It's a vast, rugged, unforgiving forest, and civilization is just not a thing out here. Getting there means helicopters, then really long, tough hikes. It is about as remote as you can possibly get. And then, rising up out of that endless green forest, you see this thing. A giant, pale cone made of shattered rock. It's a total geological puzzle, an anomaly that has baffled scientists and sparked all sorts of local legends ever since it was officially discovered. It just looks so wrong, like a giant scar on the landscape. And that, right there, is the million-dollar question. It's got the shape of one thing, but it's made of something completely different. Its very existence messes with all our neat little geological categories. So, come on, let's start digging for some answers. Okay, first things first. To really get why this thing is such a mystery, you have to appreciate the sheer scale of what we're dealing with. This isn't just some random hill, this is a monumental structure that was born from some kind of incredible force. Just to put this into perspective for you, imagine something that's over 1.5 football fields wide, and it's as tall as a 13-story building. The sheer weight of all that displaced rock is just insane. 1,000,000 tons. So whatever created this was no small event. We're talking about a massive, massive release of energy. And right here, this is the heart of the puzzle. When you look at it, your brain just screams volcano, right? It looks exactly like a cinder cone. But here's the thing. Volcanoes are made of igneous rock, lava, ash, that sort of thing. The Patomskiy Crater, though, it's made almost completely out of shattered blocks of limestone. That's a sedimentary rock, and it has no business being here. It's kind of like finding a car that looks exactly like a Ferrari but is made entirely out of wood. It just doesn't add up. Now, long before any geologists showed up with their fancy equipment, the local people knew about this place. And for them, it wasn't some scientific curiosity. Oh no, it was a place of fear. The local Yakut and Evenki people, they have a name for it. The Fire Eagle Nest. Just that name alone tells you so much, right? It suggests something powerful, something violent, maybe even something that came from the sky. It paints a picture of a fiery force swooping down and creating this thing. And the stories around the crater are, they're creepy. It's always described as an evil place you should just stay away from. Hunters swear that animals won't go near it. They just give it a wide berth. Even more unsettling are all these reports from visitors who say they suddenly feel sick or just get hit with this overwhelming sense of dread. And then there are the darkest legends, the ones about people who got too close and just vanished. And that story got a whole lot scarier back in 2005, when the leader of a scientific expedition actually died from a sudden heart attack, just a few miles away from the crater. So with a mystery this strange, scientists do what they always do. They start by checking off the most likely culprits. Let's walk through the two big ones and see why they just don't work. Okay, suspect number 1, a meteorite. Makes sense, right? A giant rock from space smacks into the Earth. It's a powerful, simple explanation for a big crater, and yeah, it was one of the very first theories. But when scientists actually went looking for the evidence, they found, nothing. An iron meteorite that big would leave a huge magnetic anomaly in the ground, but surveys have found zip. An impact that big also creates a ton of heat. You'd expect to see melted rock and signs of shock everywhere. But those are missing too. And here's the real kicker. A buried meteorite would make the ground under the crater denser, but here, the rock is actually less dense. So yeah, the meteorite theory, it's a total dead end. All right, so if it didn't come from above, maybe it came from below. The next logical suspect is a volcano. It's certainly got the right look. But you guessed it, the physical evidence just doesn't back it up. Like we talked about, it's made of the wrong stuff. Limestone, not lava. There are no signs of the crazy, intense heat you'd get with magma. And maybe most telling of all, volcanoes are rarely loners. They're almost always part of a bigger volcanic field. The Patomskiy Crater is completely, utterly by itself. So, with the two most obvious theories totally debunked, the investigation was kind of stuck. The breakthrough ended up coming not from the rocks themselves, but from the silent witnesses that had been standing there the whole time. The trees.
So scientists turned to the only witnesses of the crater's birth, the trees growing on it and all around it. By studying their growth rings, a science called dendrochronology, they could actually pinpoint when this whole cataclysmic event went down.
And those tree rings, they told a crystal clear story. They showed this period of really rapid, accelerated growth starting about 350 years ago. That suggests a massive disturbance that changed the whole environment. And what that means is that this crater is, geologically speaking, super young. It was formed around the year 1700, and it happened in one single, incredibly powerful event. So this gives us a really clear timeline to work with. The event happens sometime around 1700. It stays a local legend for centuries until 1949, when this geologist, Vadim Kolpakov, officially puts it on the scientific map. But it actually takes until 2010 for scientists to gather enough evidence to hold a big conference and say definitively, nope, it wasn't a meteorite, which forced everyone to start looking for a much weirder answer. So, with theories from the sky and from the near surface totally ruled out, scientists had to start looking much, much deeper into the Earth. And the leading theory today is something called the endogenetic hypothesis, which is just a fancy way of saying the origin came from within. This theory is all about the incredible power that's hidden deep beneath our feet. The idea is that miles down, this pocket of super volatile gases built up to an insane pressure. That pressure found a weak spot, probably a fault line, and then, boom, it erupted. But it wasn't an eruption of magma. It was an eruption of gas. And it was so violent that it blew 1 million tons of 600-million-year-old limestone straight out of the ground, forming the cone shape we see today. It was basically a colossal geological gas explosion. Now, this subterranean gas eruption theory is by far the best fit for the evidence we've got. But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? It doesn't answer everything. This crater has definitely not given up all its secrets just yet. There are still some really big questions hanging out there. Like, what exactly was the trigger? Why did it go off right then after millions of years? Where did these deep gases even come from? And maybe the biggest question of all, if this happened here, why haven't we found any other formations like it anywhere? Some scientists are still arguing that a really rare type of steam-driven eruption, called a phreatic blast, might still be in the running. The debate is very much alive. The Patomskiy Crater is just such a powerful reminder that even now, in the 21st century, our own planet is still full of profound mysteries. It's a geological freak that forces us to rethink all the powerful, hidden forces that are churning away deep beneath the ground we walk on every day. It really makes you wonder, what else is down there, just waiting to be discovered?